The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
Don't call this a comeback, and don't call this any sort of retro vibe. It's your boy coming out from the woodworks to give you a few early reviews. One of which is going to be me at my calmest. The other one going to be a little bit different, as it were. And then the last one being a collaboration piece with my older brother. It is once again time for something a little bit new, a little bit strange for many individuals. But for me, this is my bread and butter. Independent media. And the likes of which that no one in Hollywood seems to grasp and bring out the greatest bits of it all. And I'm talking about something from the Prohibition era. Cue that intro and let's jam.
I know that this is my destiny. I was at my lowest, he saw the best of me. All of my doubts are the rest in peace. Buried them deep in the leg, I can work with the rest of me. Yes, I am blessed, never stress, disconnect from all my demons. They can never get the best of me. Truly blessed to be a...
Hello everyone, welcome back to Nomadic Reviews, the show where I touch on a lot of things. Mainstream media, independent media, books, plays, songs, whatever, and I give you just an overall either first impression stuff or things I've done a deep dive into the whole medium. I am your host V, and today we are looking into a production that's been years in the making, but now has come to fruition at the time of this recording just a day prior, which is also ironic because the last review I just recorded a while back, I recorded several weeks prior before I even knew this was going to be the first review I'd be covering for everything prior to my upcoming hiatus. Why? Because we have a lot of stuff coming out in the summer, and I need the time to properly script it, properly film it, and properly edit it.
Silence! It is time to put the humans to death.
Why this overlong intro? Because I'm talking to you guys about an amazing production that's at 1.1 million views as of right now on YouTube, known as Lackadaisy. Created by a wonderful home team of individuals, and so many incredible voice actors and actresses were a part of this, with some amazing animators, cleaners, background musicians, and whatnot, to make this an overall incredible feel. But I know you're probably thinking,
oh, if it's gonna be animation, we're gonna be talking this like other stuff people could say I've done a negative for popular sex review of things.
Well, let's dive into at least 3 segments before you guys personally prosecute me on that.
What the fuck?
The story of Lackadaisy is both vague but also very prevalent. We're following bootleggers during 1927 as they're trying to procure and supply more alcohol for a tiny little lounge slash hooscow for those that want to get an adult beverage known as Lackadaisy. But trouble seems to be following them as a man named Mr. Sweets and his enforcers are trying to muscle out any person that could or couldn't be problematic towards their overall goals. How these events vary is honestly just a back and forth that anyone that has looked into Prohibition storylines itself can go. But our main focus for the pilot is on Rocky, Freckle, and Ivy. Characters that have
The sudden circus! Sorry.
very great chemistry, but also have their own unique quirks. As it stands, these characters, along with the adversaries that they are facing off with, Mostly, I remember Mordecai because, honestly, this man seems like someone I'd be voice acting as. Just envelop a whole new vibe for myself about what I love about gangster films, what I love about certain media that covers the overall beauty that makes it a delectable time for dark, mysterious, and very intricately strange gravitas of a situation. Or maybe I'm just really in a good mood and I've been waiting for something positive to talk about. We'll see. The characters, as I briefly mentioned, are an assortment that I could try to go into as best as I can, but I'll probably screw up a little bit. Our main trio of Rocky, Ivy, and Freckle, they share an almost comedic bantery trio aesthetic, while also carrying a found family vibe where I think Rocky and Freckle are relatives. I still need to read the comic, but we'll get to that when I do Magi critique, where it definitely comes off to where they do work together very well, especially with the voice actors of Michael Kovac, Lizzie Ramold, and Belshaber Raspeg. I'm so sorry if I screwed up your last name, please forgive me. Really do come off with a great camaraderie and a little bit of some romantic tension between Ivy and Freckle that's oh so sweet. While the main enforcers that we're following of Nicodemi, Serafine, and Mordecai, being voiced by Pro ZD's very own Sungwon Cho, Michael Ray, and Benny Latham. God, so many last names I feel like I'm screwing up on, and I apologize. Really helps sell the pacing about what it means to have a villainous pair of antagonists that also carry a nice bit of their own characterizations that make them both memorable, but a little bit terrifying if you're looking into something that can definitely get you into a different kind of headspace. And last but not least, the people at Lackadaisy. I know there are more characters, shut up. Where we have Mitzi, Victor, Vib, and a man by the name of Wick. I have no idea if Wick is just a senator, a governor, a politician, or just someone that really likes booze and nice suits to be a land developer. Who really knows in the 1920s? It could be whatever you want. They give off probably the most sincere and down-to-earth appeal for things that I never thought could be possible. Why do I say this? Many people that touch on prohibition-based media want to focus on, of course, the overall negatives that bring about just the darkness of humanity. Those that just do it because they want to break the law just to break the law, not to hold a dream and to have something that can be prevalently beautiful for oneself, but actually holding on to a dream about giving hope and giving satisfaction to many over rather than just doing it for a self-made margin is probably the most intellectually sweet things I could attest to for a medium basis, and it makes me want to see this production garner more and more traction because it does give off an appeal that is worthwhile to study as well as to dive more into. And by the time I do my Magi critique, I hope more episodes do come out, and I've kept up to date on reading the comics, because honestly, this story is very well thought out and very much worth everyone's time. Especially being 7 years in the making of traction bases, idea formatting, and basically giving us the 411 about what could and couldn't be possible to make dreams a reality. The music is definitely the highest point for myself before we get to the final marking, to where it definitely hits a special note for myself involving swing and jazz music. As a jazz musician myself, this is definitely my home turf to really get invested in the new swing of it all, where the animation, I will get into, does complement the musical choices for the overall movement as well as the interactions, the elements of people's emotional statuses, and definitely being able to peter out to just let the moment speak for themselves, while you can tell the musicians are building up for what the next scene is coming into like pure professionals. Whether they've been doing this for a long time or not, it definitely carries over just what the musical team definitely wanted to implement to make this even more polished and well thought out. And I love them for that. I know you guys are waiting for me to talk about this, so here it is. Animation is gold. I can't tell you how many times I've looked into many different pilots over the years, and many things I wish I could have made a review about, but chose not to. Cause, I'll be frank with you guys, a lot of the things people recommend for me to review, whether it's something I'm reviewing in a few days according to my upload schedule, like Hell of a Boss, or things I have reviewed, like God's School, I don't get impressed easily. So my standards of what I look into are extremely high. And when I look at Lackadaisy, I look at something that was intricately paced out to be worked at to a finite degree. You had everything you needed to make the perfect pilot, or just the perfect short film that could have gone on for a lot longer. I would have donated so much money if people told me about this sooner. I would have definitely been promoting the hell out of this to make commercials and everything for a production like this, simply because not just was the animation top-notch to go into the fluidity, not just because of the facial recognition about what was going on, how to mimic all the things that are naturally done for felines. Everything about this was sublime. Everything about this was a key factor to make it all be wrapped up in a bow, to where the animation is the gift wrap of what was presented for what was given to us as a pilot in and of itself. Overall, I've said this about a lot of different things, and I'll keep saying this, where a pilot, when it's done right, you definitely need to keep focus on and keep notes and keep track of its progression state. I'm saying this for many different things because every single writer and every single developer I've ever talked to, I've ever looked into, they can make great pilots that are worth looking into. But here's the thing. I'm keeping my whole ideologies as well as my overall feeling about how things are gonna go to an even level, because I have been let down before by things I've believed in, and then later reviews have showcased why I don't have that same belief. And I don't want Lackadaisy to be on that list of things of, I'm really rooting for you, please don't let me down. I'm gonna keep it to a realistic level of, I want the team to do right by themselves, by their goals, by their dreams. And then hopefully as time progresses and I see what they do next, they don't miss a step about what made their product so incredible, that they've had backers, that they've had fans in the wings, that they've had these amazing people on staff to look into things. I really want Lackadaisy to go strong. I want it to be one of the best animated series that has come into fruition since... That's just overall my whole big thing. I want this to succeed, but I want to also be realistic, where the pilot is great, it garnered my attention, it got my appeal, but I want to see if it does better. So currently with just Lackadaisy's pilot, not going into the comics, not going to anything else for supplementary material, I am going to, by my criteria, give this entire pilot at least a solid 12.5 out of 13, 5.5 out of 7 stars, and I'm giving it an A, while awarding it with the FE Medallion, reserved for things that I personally feel like stand the testament of time to be both timelessly beautiful, but also a generational milestone that cannot be ignored. Will this stand a testament to still be good as more episodes come out? I would like to hope so. Will my wife and I do a whole episode about this on the Dangerous Opinions? You know we will. You know we will. We are insane people. We're going to do this. Is this gonna be the last time I'm gonna talk about Lackadaisy? Of course not. I'm doing a video about Mordecai because this man intrigues me. Once I read more of the comics, I will probably try to do my best interpretation of what ProZD did to make this character come to life. Will I be trying to constantly make a whole YouTube series about Lackadaisy when this is done? More than likely, yes. Why? Because I'm a cat man. I have nothing else to really say. I'm a cat man. So, next time we're gonna be on Nomadic Reviews before I go back to my hiatus. We go from something I am elated for to a request my big sister Shreeves gave me. Hooray! Except I looked into something that should have probably stayed in hell. The things you do for family. The things you do for family.
Boy, you crazy!